Some may find this news I've got to be kind of mundane, and it is, but it's got to be talked about. So I'll get through the Elon Musk stuff first. First off, he's declined to sit on the board at Twitter. And there are people out there that are surmising that he wants to take it over. And maybe there's a way for him to do that if he's not on the board. So we'll see what happens. Okay, I don't know. Disney stock, yo, Planet Musk vlog. Disney stock is sitting around 131. It's gone down a little bit today, but not there. It's last what? It was at what, 148 a week ago or 2 weeks ago, and it's lost almost 20%. All right, so it's about $9-10 billion. It's a lot of money. Okay. If Elon Musk decides to go after Twitter, because he's been making, again, some funny noise over Twitter, just on his Twitter account that I've been told about, that's going to set a precedent. It's going to set a new precedent. And Disney has a guy kind of like him in a way. I think he's far more ruthless with Rupert Murdoch. I can't imagine Rupert Murdoch looking at his shares in the stock of Disney and being happy about where it is and how the company's being run. It has nothing to do with Bob Chapek. I keep him. Nothing to do with Susan Arnold. I keep her. However, the board of directors would be gone. They would get people who are there not to virtue signal, their faux wokeness, but to basically get the job done. Okay, they're running a business. They're not running a nonprofit. Okay, that seems to have really never registered on the part of the wokesters there, like Latondra Newton and Latoya Ravenel. But to be honest, even without a hostile takeover or the threat of it, I do see them leaving sooner. Again, it took us investigating and looking at the Lucasfilm website to realize that Carrie Hart was no longer part of Lucasfilm. So it may be one of these days within a few months, maybe a year, that we see these faces of these crybabies, these bullies, these groomers. And they will be gone. I really don't want Disney to go broke, and they don't have to go broke to go through a hostile takeover, Jonathan. They don't. Okay. Again, I'm getting to the point where I kind of like, if someone says, burn it all down, ugh, shut up. I want to hear that. I want to hear that. Why? You're saying the entire company is infested with that shit. You're saying everybody there deserves to lose their job. Everybody. Even probably the vast majority who agree with you. What's wrong with you? Okay. You're acting like a bunch of Heath Ledger jokers. Some men want to see the world burn. Stop it. Be an adult. Be reasonable. Okay? Figure it out. This is business. We're not fighting Hitler. Okay? We're not fighting Stalin. We're not, going after Pol Pot or Che Guevara. Okay? Just a bunch of, a small minority, a very tiny minority within a very, very small minority. I really think that that's probably out of left field, and I really don't see that happening. Let me finish what I'm saying. So I do, maybe in the future, if the stocks keep going down, that Disney is in hostile takeover territory. I mean, if you guys remember, if you've been watching this channel long enough, you know that their shares, when the pandemic first opened and they were closing everything, that their shares went down to $79. Okay. Which is hostile takeover territory. And they start borrowing money to buy their shares back. Okay. The stock price, again, is inflated from the Iger time. It's going to take a little while to get an actual, what I think, a natural price. And I've had people tell me that even with the good report last quarter, etc., that it's still inflated. Okay, so okay, so don't just think, wow, Elon could take over Twitter. If he does, I'm gonna laugh my ass off. I will be cheering, all right, and then I will try to get back on, all right. Don't be surprised to see Disney go through that. All right, so let's talk a little bit about, okay, the Acolyte. I want to just add this. The ratings went up to like 14,000 on the ratings thing. I don't know how it's voted on. I don't know if they just look at an algorithm, popularity or whatever, but I've been keeping my eye on, and of course, Amandla, God, what a dumb name. Can they just say Amanda? Stenberg, her rating went up a little bit too. So I think it goes back and forth, but from what I've been told, it's not going to happen. Okay, I mean, Kennedy's movies aren't going to happen. None of that's moving forward. Let's talk a little bit about the new director for Ahsoka, Peter. I had the name and now I forgot it. Cameron did a great Patreon about it too. I'm going to find it right now. Okay, so just bear with me here. It's very interesting to me because this guy apparently is, oh, for crying out loud. Okay. I have to go on. Yeah, I mean, that's true. But again, don't, not even Elon Musk has enough money to do all that. Okay, just, I mean, and Twitter's minuscule compared to Disney. All right. Even Disney at its lowest was far more expensive to acquire than Twitter. I mean, Twitter, think about it, Twitter doesn't have anything that can be remotely usable for, it's not a real, look, these platforms online aren't real. Okay, we're literally talking on a virtual reality thing, okay? It's, Twitter is not real. Facebook isn't real. All right, if you look at it that way, why would you put money into something that isn't solid? Okay, deadline. Okay. All right. Director. So the new guy they have is, it's gonna be pretty interesting. His name is Peter something. What the? Okay, let's see if I can find it just here. All right. What? No, I don't want to do that. I want to skip the ad. Okay. All right, I have to find this because I want to get the name right. He is a black man. And it's very interesting to me. Of course, there aren't any, I can't get over there because look, damn it, director. I hate doing this to you guys. All right, Ray, all right. We got Ray Stevenson's going to be in there. Hayden is going to play Vader again. But weirdly, the guy all right, it's Peter something. Ahsoka director. Peter. Come on. All right, forget it. Anyway, this director is a yeah, and I'm going to basically humiliate you for that. All right, she's a grandmaster like I'm a jockey. Okay, let me get to this, okay? Anyway, the guy that they chose to direct Ahsoka is a protege of Lord and Miller. Cameron's take on it is that this is another humiliation for Kathleen Kennedy to endure. I'm not willing to go that far because, well, actually, this is my opinion of Lord and Miller. I'm not really interested in their take. I don't think they were right to direct it anyway. I'm not sure what was told about what they were doing was right or not for the movie. But Larry Kasdan didn't like him. Larry Kasdan is also a movie director. He did direct Silverado, etc., etc. In America, Continental Divide with John Belushi. Just a second. And I'm very much wondering out loud why he just didn't direct it. But they seem to be kind of out of control and wanting to do a lot of improv. They probably didn't help Awful Aaron Yuck. Yeah, Musklandia. Yeah, he could. They didn't really seem to probably help him. And he was in way over his head. Peter Ramsey, thank you. Thank you, Don. If for some reason it came over on Deadline and they don't have it listed under any subject at all right, on my computer, it's like, anyway, yeah, Peter Ramsey. But this guy who's chosen, Peter Ramsey, is one of their acolytes. He is one of their guys. Okay, and apparently, Lord and Miller don't make it a secret how much they hate Kathleen Kennedy. Okay, they really don't. Now, again, I'm going to caution people. When you're dealing with a subject like a Western, which the Solo should be, a space Western, you've got to be really careful about who you're going to have lead the project. Those two guys did Lego movies. That's it. They should not have been tapped for this anyway, all right? I know Kathy was like, well, just have all the young director, then it'll just be such a great experience. No, fuck's sake, no. this should be a big tentpole movie. You need a guy who understands budget, time constraints, yada yada yada, and can relate to the actors, and to be a storyteller. You know, and sorry, Kathy, but none of the directors, except for Gareth Edwards, that you chose, are any of that. Okay, Lord and Miller were too young, not experienced enough. Okay, again, would I like to see at least some of their stuff? You know, I don't know, and if you keep that up, I'm gonna ban you. All right. First off, he's not in charge of Twitter yet, so don't be fucking stupid, and quit interrupting me or you're gone. All right. So I'm not sure if they should have been. They should. I would. I don't know if I want to. I assume if they put it out there, I probably bite my tongue and you know, slow down my rage and watch. But if you're gonna have a movie, an origin story about a character as important as Han Solo, then you have to have a director that's got some gravitas. Okay, we've all seen Tombstone. We've all seen Unforgiven. We've all seen The Searchers. Okay, Stagecoach, etc. Yeah, and that's the thing. That's the thing, and I yeah. So anyway, they didn't choose the right directors. Ron Howard should have been the director immediately, but even I question that. Okay, great director, but lacked has always lacked something. Doesn't have as much gravitas. High cross element. See, we have a lot of newbies here. Let me go through a little spiel. Stay on topic. No trolling. No harassing me or any of the members of my chat. We don't like the ST. We are not Ray the Bestest Eva fans. Kyle Ron is basically mocked and ridiculed. Okay, all right, just to get that out there. Anyway, it's you're right. So when you think about Solo, who would you have chosen? Not them. Not Ron Howard even. I would have looked at somebody like, I'm sorry to say that because a lot of people are getting mad at me, Ridley Scott. Okay. Despite some fans' outrage at him over Prometheus, he did have a movie called Gladiator, which was effing fantastic. Okay. The guy can direct big spectacles. Okay. And I think he would have been an excellent director for Solo. Sam Raimi. Okay, how about him? Okay. A lot of them. Okay, you're gone. There, that's it. Fine. You want to come in here and disrupt the chat? All right, I said none of that. Ridley Scott would have been good. He would have had the movie done. Yeah, well, Lindelof is, it just, one of these days I'm going to do an upload on the JJ legacy, okay? And I'm going to argue a little bit with Chato, call me Chato, from Friday, because he was saying that suits are intimidated by creatives. First off, they're not. There aren't any creatives right now except for very few. Mel Gibson, for crying out loud, who look at Suits and go, what the fuck, you know? J.J. Abrams is not a creative, he's a politician, but that's for another video. Anyway, I believe that there were a lot of directors out there that could have been chosen. Kennedy did not want a director, right, that would fight her on anything, okay? And she did not have any interest in making this movie at all, which is apparent when she finally watched the dailies and was like, holy shit, what have I done? I mean, look, Larry Kasdan is a venerable screenwriter. I don't particularly like the guy. I mean, the only reason why he did so well with The Empire Strikes Back, Return of the Jedi, Raiders of the Lost Ark is because he had George over his shoulder watching and guiding him. You know, and it, you know, so, but if he's saying these guys aren't listening to me, they're not following the script, they're making this actor you chose, Kathy, who's completely inappropriate for the role, they're making it worse for him. Which, you know, I think Aaron Yuck, looked at the boots he had to fill and went, oh shit, because he could barely see over those boots. He's only like 5'5". He's shorter than I am. Harrison Ford is tall, all right, 6'1". Okay, yeah, and when you look at him compared to like Mark Hamill throughout the first part of the trilogy, the OT, and you look at him compared to Carrie and other people, you realize that, you know, you've got Peter Mayhew, who's 7'3". You got David Prowse, who's 6'6". And you got Harrison. I mean, okay, you need a guy with presence. You need a guy with charisma. You need a guy with that masculine charm. I'm sorry, but a large-headed dwarf with a receding hairline, awful Aaron Yuck, does not fit that description at all. Okay, so let's go further. So we've got their protege, Peter Ramsey, coming in to direct Ahsoka. And obviously, I'm going to say this, we find that out now. I think they're already starting to film, okay? Or they're going to start filming soon. So let's talk about the Lego Star Wars Skywalker Saga. Now, yesterday night, and yesterday, Mazarus sent me a screenshot of, I think it's the first fight between Kyle Ren. Yeah, I do. And the thing about it, Primeval, is that Kennedy wouldn't have wanted him. And the reason why is because she can't control him. And again, it would have been his movie, not hers. Now, she might not have been interested in that movie, not even in the slightest, but still, the fact that we go from it being her movie to Steven Spielberg's would have been a blow to her ego. All right, and we know how protective she is of herself. Okay, so there's one part of it, and I think I've got the screenshot. I am gonna do an upload to talk about this, where I think it's Kyle Ren yelling at her saying, "Your name was supposed to be Kira," and one of the guys on Patreon said they'd seen the entire ST thing through the whole thing was just a backhanded to it. Okay. Then we got the screenshot that I used as a thumbnail. At last, the Empress Palpatine merchandise will be flying off the shelves. I'm gonna ask you a question. Do you honestly think in your heart of hearts that the people at Lego like the sequel trilogy? No. They were mocking it. And they probably did not want to include it in this offering. Okay? It was literally held back a year. Okay? Probably because of this shit. Yeah, they do. And they're mocking it. They're mocking Ray. They're mocking Kennedy. Which I'm like, thank you. Thank you. It is really just one of those things where you're like, and I mean, I was shocked. I started laughing. I almost woke my husband up because he was asleep. I was literally like, you've got to be kidding me. But it makes sense if you think about it. It makes all of this stuff that we're seeing now with it's going to be a slow moving train too. Oh, hey Paul, how you doing? Thanks for stopping by. Hey, if you haven't, subscribe, please subscribe. I was up to 2070 and now I'm back down to 2035. I would like to get those back. Yeah, that is rebelling. It says a lot. It's rebelling against, and I'll tell you, if Disney, whom I'm sure had something to say there, was like, you can't do that, but they didn't. Okay, they're mocking the entire thing. That's interesting. I'm really intrigued by all this. And I gotta tell you something else. One of the guys on Cameron's Patreon said that Kathy obviously doesn't have breast cancer anymore. All right, I'm gonna give you a little hint here. I'm gonna give you a little hint here. I have people in my sister had it, got it. The first time she got it, she had to not only go through a lumpectomy, but she went through both chemo and radiation. Okay, lost all of her hair. Second time she got it, she had to do the same thing, and she lost a breast. Okay, so when someone says, well, she survived cancer, and I'm looking at her with her thick, full head of hair, I'm like, wait a minute. Unless she's wearing a really good wig, and usually you can kind of tell, she never had that, so whatever. I mean, maybe I'm wrong, but I don't feel like that happened. But I wanted to give you guys a heads up because she's not been seen. Okay, and the last time we did see her was in Florida she was actually at Florida. At least I think she was, or maybe it was Florida, Galaxy's Edge. All right, weird how she was there, and so were the Stoned Republic authors. You kind of looking around going, huh? But, yeah, and that's the thing is that they're not going to give you, you're not just going to have, okay, we're going to give you a lumpectomy, we'll get rid of it, and in a couple of months we'll check and make sure that the cancer didn't return. They're going to give you radiation and chemo, and you will lose your hair and you will lose weight, and not in the good way. Okay, so she didn't have it. Okay, she didn't have it. All right, I'm like, look, I mean, it doesn't run in our family. My sister got it probably because she was fighting the effects of menopause with things that really carry high amounts of estrogen. Soybeans, dried soybeans, they're disgusting. They don't taste like anything. And they are a class 1 carcinogen. Okay, so if you're doing that, you're playing with fire. Okay, you really are. If you're eating those like by the handfuls like she was. But it doesn't run in our family. I mean, so we're lucky that way. But back to the Lego game. Yeah, so I mean, this is mundane stuff, but it's stuff I thought you guys needed to hear. Other than that, I mean, Will Smith, he's done, his career's over. I mean, there's so many gossip news things about him. I watched a video of him when he's basically telling Bitchy McBitcherton to quit filming him and don't put it on the internet. That guy's not gay. Stop it. Just quit it. I know there are gossip sites out there that put up sorts of shit out there about people. Okay. But yeah, well, I'll talk about that in a minute. But unless you've got direct evidence, and we have direct evidence that Jada is a scumbag and a bitch and a narcissist and a horrible human being, okay? And she's got him cucked. And, this is the reasoning behind this. Oh, she is. I think actually that she's worse. But, and here's the thing. Jada didn't want to be married. Will did. Okay. Will comes off as this goofy dude who, for some reason, is held in thrall of her. Okay. And that happens. Okay. That does not mean that Jada's got some big dark secret about him. Okay. I mean, he has big dark secrets about her, but wait, she doesn't keep any of those. Everybody knows she's a scumbag and a slut and a whore. Okay, there we go. And I'm really mad about this. Sam Elliott apologized to Jane Campion for basically calling her out for all the right reasons. Okay, me. Why did you do that? What in God's name made you think to do that? All right, you don't apologize. Not for that. Don't apologize for your opinion. Yeah, I did. Look it up on Variety. Don't ever apologize for your opinion. I'm not going to apologize to when I say sexuality should not be taught to little kids. Okay? I'm not going to apologize for that. All right? I'm not. It doesn't make me a hater. That makes me very protective of people's childhoods. Well, Paul, she actually said she never wanted to be married at that red table talk that they had. There's a video with her saying that, with Will sitting there. I'm like, okay. Anyway, what else is going on? Really, that's about it. Sonic the Hedgehog doing really good. Morbius sucks. I'm gonna finish watching Moon Knight only because I'm very interested in how they respect Egyptian mythology. I studied that in college. Egyptian archaeology is one of my like fun subjects. When I was a kid, 1976, my mom took me to the Field Museum to see King Tut's treasures, and I saw the mask, the gold mask. I saw all of it, as much as they could, as much as Cairo was willing to send over, and it really got me into that mythology, more so than Greco-Roman mythology in some ways. It's very interesting to me, and when I realize that this was about, because I know nothing about Moon Knight, that this was about an Egyptian god, I'm like, oh God, they're going to screw this up and I'm going to get mad. So I don't watch it. And so far it's been okay. I have to take Vivarin. Yeah, it was awesome, Euler Greg. But I have to take Vivarin to get through this TV show. But at least I'm not going. And despite the fact that Oscar Isaac's one character, Steven, I hate. He's such a pussy. I don't care if he has dissociative disorder. I don't like him. Okay? I couldn't hardly stand listening to him. Good British accent, I thought. I thought he did fine. But still, I'm fucking wanker. Okay? Wanker! Just find a Brit to play the role. There are a plethora of British actors out there. Anyway, so Euler Greg, I was talking about the Lego thing here, and wow, see that? Okay. They're basically dissing the sequel trilogy big time. Basically, Kyle Ron complaining about Rey being called Rey and not Kira. Palpatine saying, now the Emperor's Palpatine merchandise will fly off the shelves. Basically, people that have played the game said it's different in feeling from the other part of the game. It's just not, people just don't, it's backhanded and kind of a middle finger. And it smacks of rebellion. Like the makers did not want to make it. I don't know what you've heard, Euler Greg, but, chime in here or send me an email. Yeah, well, there are funny things to be said about the OT and the prequels, but the sequels, there's nothing cute or funny about them. They're trash. They're absolutely fucking trash. Okay, so let's see. Acolyte went up a little bit. It's back up to 14,000, and Amanda Stenberg is like she gained she went back up to 600 points. I kind of wonder if somebody's messing with that number because I don't see the Acolyte being made. Okay, I honestly see Headland, because she's already got a show out. Was it China Doll or Russian Doll Part 2 with Natasha Lyonne in it on Netflix, which I'm not going to watch. I don't care. I mean, Harvey Weinstein's former personal assistant is grody on a good day, so I'm not interested in anything that she's doing. And what's interesting is that it seems like she's actually given up a little bit of control of that show to other people, because she's not the only producer. Now there's like other people. Really weird. But she's got some other stuff going on, so I don't see the Acolyte happening. It's weird that we haven't seen any official announcement, but again, I don't know. But I wanted you guys to hear about the Lego game and talk a bit about Elon Musk. If him not being on the board makes the cap on share ownership go away, this could be something big, okay? All right. And it sets a precedent. If Disney shares fall and they were at 131 just stable, a little lower, but still stable right now. Disney shares fall under $120. I'm going to call that takeover territory. All right. And they've got a lot of people that are shareholders, like, well, one, Rupert Murdoch, that I could see saying, fuck this. So, so watch that number. And, you know, we just keep on going on. We're waiting for Kenobi. We've got a little over a month yet. It's almost Easter. So I'm making a duck. And I think I'm going to make fondant potatoes. I might try the recipe I found out now to see if it's actually feasible to do. I don't know. Anyway, you guys have a good afternoon. Midnight's Edge is on. I will be in the chat. I've got to clean up my office. So I'm probably going to be up there listening. But guys, have a good afternoon. Have a good Monday. And remember, it's Holy Week. Get your butts to Mass. Thursday, Friday, and Saturday or Sunday. And remember, it's Easter. See you guys around the galaxy.